Hello, it's Bridget Montgomery with Mind Move Therapy. If you've been given a diagnosis of gastroesophageal reflux disease, also known as GERD, and also were given a diagnosis of a hiatal hernia, then this video is for you. Just to begin, acid reflux advances to GERD. So that implies that we have had esophagus, maybe gastric issues in our stomach for a while. Who knows, really, how long we may have had our hiatal hernia. All of this implies that we must take a pause and seriously evaluate lifestyle decisions that need to be modified permanently or at least temporarily until it's all cleaned up in here, until the acid is where it needs to be, back in the stomach, and the sphincters, both of them, are working properly, and our stomach is, has the right acidity in it. Our GI system is working properly, and our esophagus is nice and healed, which is my main focus. But we can't solve the inflammation issue in our esophagus while we have this hiatal hernia. So the intent of these videos is actually to work the diaphragm, okay, to bring life back into the diaphragm by just focusing on it, giving awareness to the diaphragm and breathing, and making some lifestyle modifications. So briefly, let's begin there. So evaluating your own life, we should all be giving up some things that we're ingesting that are causing inflammation, that are causing the triggers that exist already in our esophagus. So what is something that you're interested in giving up? No matter what your age is, okay, and how long you've been doing something, I think we can all come up with some things that we have wanted to give up that maybe we continue to partake in. For me, to be blunt, it's time for me to give up alcohol, and it's time for me to give up anything like that. And it is time for me to get my stress levels under control. So we cannot diminish the connection between some of the issues that we have and stress in our life. So if you can think for a moment, if you had to make one change in your life today, what would it be? If you can think of something very quickly, then it seems very relevant to your life in making the change. I find one of the hardest ways of changing is asking for help, okay? I don't like asking people for help. I don't want them to know what I'm doing. I don't want any accolades. I don't need their attention. But then in the same respect, I need all of these things so desperately. So one of my lifestyle changes, and I'm going to ask you, what's one of your lifestyle changes that you are going to work on that's going to bring you less stress in your life? What's one lifestyle change that you're going to do that's going to help with the healing of your esophagus and your hiatal hernia, and that's going to bring you more, better peace of mind? What's one area of stress that you need to resolve? Okay, and keep it in mind while we just start moving a little bit. Okay, so when the body is stressed And when we're partaking in lifestyle decisions that are not the healthiest for us, our body is responding. Consciously, as I'm looking around and I'm more aware of my skin and what I'm seeing externally than really what's happening inside the body. Our stomach is not screaming that it's angry with us, but it is. If it had, what it's doing is it's telling us that we're out of balance in certain areas, and we need to get it back aligned. We need homeostasis in the body. And so, okay, all right. So one of the first things that we're going to do is we're going to take a breath. We're going to work on our diaphragm. And as we know, our diaphragm runs parallel to our ribs inside. So the diaphragm is in a dome-like shape. And when we take a breath in, the diaphragm pulls down, right? Well, if we have a hiatus hernia, okay, that's impacting the functioning of the diaphragm, it's an issue, okay? And if we do not want to make it worse than it already is, people, okay? So we're just going to practice a couple breaths together. So I'm going to breathe in for 6, and then we're going to gently let the breath go for 6. All right? So here we go. Wherever you're at, you know, whether you can stand with me in a nice standing pose, or you're seated, but maybe a long line of extension through the posterior side of your body, from your tailbone all the way to your brainstem, okay, where your cervical spine meets your skull, all the way up the spine. It's nice and straight. Well, rather just aligned and lifted. Okay, maybe we could even take a little breath in through our nose and just lift the shoulders up and, you know, gently bring them down. I always have a little lift in my chest. Okay, and let's begin there. Because when we have a nice alignment through the body, my abs are engaged. Okay, so my stomach isn't loose. It's kind of more engaged. And so the diaphragmatic breathing is going to help with just kind of like letting the belly kind of be softer and more calmer in a way, less kind of held in there kind of tightly, right? So everybody, nice stance. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose and let your breath go. Just another deep breath in through your nose. And let the breath go. This time, take a nice deep breath in your nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and release the breath. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, take a nice deep breath in through your nose for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the breath go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This time, put your hand on your belly. You could even, let's just actually, before we even start there, let's just locate the stomach, which is, you know, on the left side from the midline, sort of heading south and to the left. All right, so let's find our poor stomach, okay, that's angry with us. And actually, you know, the movements that we see are kind of just gently giving a little pressure and just kind of moving the stomach in a downward fashion, right? Because the hernia is pushed up into the esophagus. So let's just practice kind of like pushing it down and just kind of giving it a little massage. Just kind of letting the stomach know that we're acknowledging it, okay? In a different kind of way, all right? It might help. All right, here we go. Let's take another diaphragmatic breathing. Now this time, what we're going to do, people, is we're actually going to, before we even move into the breath, push the belly out, and then come back to baseline. So in your own way, on your own, just kind of like practice just pushing the belly out, letting all the muscles in your abdomen kind of just relax. And practice what that feels like for a moment. Push out. Just let it relax. Actually feels good. All right, people. All these things we can learn about ourselves. I'm so excited. All right. So here comes the diaphragmatic breathing. So as we take a breath in, the stomach pushes out. Okay? And then when we exhale, the stomach comes in. All right, so here we go. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Push your belly out. Fill your belly. Fill it up. Push the belly out. Fill it up. Keep breathing in and kind of filling up the belly. And then release it. And then the stomach comes back. It contracts. One more time together, okay? Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Keep your hand on your belly and fill it up. No reason to rush. Take your time. Fill your belly up with oxygen. The lungs have more space when we fill up the chest this way. And release, right? So we can kind of push it out, the belly, and I'm remaining talking, right? But I'm just trying to keep the belly out. And when you breathe, just push the belly out. And then when you exhale, the stomach comes in. And let's pause. If you've experienced a lot of stress in your life, we'll just do a little assessment to see. Some people may have had a lot of stress and this functions just perfectly. But for some of us who've had a lot of stress in our life, this little assessment is for you. So we're going to take a breath in. Put your hand back on your belly. Take a breath in. Does your stomach pull in when you took the breath in? Let's try it again. Take a breath in through your nose. Does your belly fill up? Does it come out? Or does it pull in when you take your breath? If you're breathing and you inhale and the stomach goes in instead of comes out, you have reverse breathing, okay? That's an indication that you need to do more diaphragmatic practice, okay? That's an indication. A lot of people who have had stress, okay, they reverse breathe because we're constantly in a state of, we're always in a state of wowza, you know what I'm saying? Like if we're under a lot of stress, I mean, things are just coming at us, and usually it's a lot of times adversarial, or it's just overwhelming, or blah, blah, blah. Let's just, it's just an indication that life is asking us to change, okay? We just can't keep going and doing what we've been doing, all right? And so we practice, we're moving on to stage B. And stage B is the practice of coming into some of these movements, every day. It's happening 5 days a week. I'm at a park near the river in Chicago. I'm sorry, it's gorgeous here and there's nobody around, all right? So if you have to go to your park around where you live and turn your video camera on, just like I'm doing, and videotape yourself, and what is your story? What is something that you need to share? okay? And just beginning this sort of thing. All right. So let's just begin a little meditation before we move into more physical stuff. So you have a nice stature through the body. You're holding yourself in esteem. There's a calmness to the way that you're breathing. And, embody a calm feelings throughout. Okay? Embodying calm feeling. It's just a gorgeous day. We feel safe, right? If you feel safe right now and you're in beautiful weather or you're somewhere that you love, just for a moment, just embody it. Bring it into you. Breathe it in. And let the body just feel nice. Okay? You can, bring your hand to the middle of your third eye area in between your eyebrows. This is the part of our, so much we could say about this area, but one of them is we hold tension in the muscles in our face in this area. It's all, kind of connected in a way. So we're just going to practice really just kind of, feeling good. All right, moving on. All right, so we have a nice stature through the body. We're just going to bring our arms up overhead. Ready? So just cross your arms like me. Lift your elbows up. Lift your elbows up. Hold. Just letting your elbows kind of just be, just even you can bring them behind your head as though you're going to, cradle your skull in your palms. And just look up a little bit and take a nice breath in through the nose. Letting the breath come right into our lungs. Open chest. Breathe. And relax. Let's just take one shoulder and just kind of, just work the top of the deltoid muscles. Just give the shoulders a stretch. Grab your golf club or some other sort of stick and, just practice just opening up the shoulders just a little bit more, just a little bit. The arms are moving over the midline of the body, so we're engaging both the left and right hemispheres of the brain. And stop. Keep your fingers down at the ground. And why don't we just pull down as though we're going to do a little bit of a deadlift. But I'm not going all the way down, all right, everybody? Because I want to keep my esophagus above my stomach. So we're just going to kind of push the glutes out and just kind of bend over as though we're going to pick something up. And slowly stand. You don't even have to stand up all the way. And just go back on down. Reaching the fingertips reaching for something. Reach. And that tailbone goes up. Rounding the lumbar spine. A little C curve in the spine right now. Lift your chin. Just ever so slightly. And slowly stand. Let's come into a chair pose, okay, for a moment. So we can squat. Squats are fine for us because, again, my esophagus is above my stomach, all right? So we can sit down in our chair. I'm seated down, I'm back on my heels, and my arms, I'm trying to get my my biceps to be right near my ears. My chest is open and lifted. Look up on a diagonal. Hold it, reach, 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 and sit down a little deeper. Take a breath in through your nose and stand. All right, very good. So we'll just do one more exercise for now, okay? We're gonna do some leg lifts. And you might wanna ask yourself, I know you're asking, you probably aren't asking yourself why. It doesn't even matter. The reason why we're doing this is because the psoas muscle, our hip flexors, it shares the fascia with the diaphragm, okay? So we want our psoas muscles to be nice and flexible, and so, yeah, okay? So all I'm doing is kind of stretching out the hip flexors right now, the quad, all right? Just give yourself one of these classic runner's stretches. And if you want to kind of take it to the next level, I'm not really moving my chest much. I'm going to grab the foot from the inside. You know, you could pull your foot closer to your glute, holding your pose and coming out of it whenever, okay? Come into a dancer pose, whatever. Okay. All right, one more. Bring them up. And just look up between your hands. Lift your cheeks. And just open up the arms right to a T shape. And we'll just kind of look over to the left. And we'll come forward. We'll just look over to the right. Again, the shoulder movements. Take a breath in through the nose and let the breath go. All right. Everybody, I think we should end. The note that we should end on is exhales are going to be one of the areas that we need to focus on. So the exhalations are connected to the parasympathetic nervous system. And we've pissed off our vagus nerve. Our vagus nerve is pissed off as well. All right? And baby, I don't want to fuck with the vagus. I'm just very upset about that. I've been pissing the vagus off for this many years probably, all right? So the rest and digest, this area of calm needs to rest and digest. It says it right there. We need to get it, we need to come into more calm states. So I do hope that people follow me a little bit, because I think we all need to say something about what our experiences are. All right, last breath. We're going to breathe in for 4, and we're going to exhale for 7, okay? Here we go. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Sip in a little bit more air. Really fill up. And exhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bravo, people. I'll see you all in the next video. And next time, leave some notes in the comments, and do like my page. And I'll like yours back.